Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm glad that we're here together right now. That's right, Gemma. So listen, we're just here to enjoy this morning, all right? There's a lot of nonsense going around in the world, no question about all that. That's all good. We're here to kind of just take a check in with each other, take a look at the markets, get ready for what's coming in the next 24 hours or 79 days. We're going to ride it together. We're going to make sure that we're level-headed. We're going to make sure that we're detached. We're going to make sure that we're looking at what's going on price and in the markets, trading support and resistance, not worried about where our emotions lead us and whatever else is going on out there. What we're going to do is do everything we can to stay on the right side of the trade and conquer the markets together. That's right. Always, always, always dream big. You got to dream big or you're never going to hit the moon. Moon? We're going to Mars. All right. So what else we got going on? Listen, there's going to be no afternoon update today. Today, there will be no afternoon update. Well, after this morning, we're kind of riding the wave, waiting to see what happens this evening. And then we're going to take it as it comes tomorrow together. All right. So let's just make some observations this morning. It's going to be a different session because I'm not looking for any trades right now. You would have to be crazy, in my opinion, to take a trade right now, right? You got that, you looking for that gamble. No, we're not doing that, right? We're looking to make sure we're in a position of strength. By the way, let's just start with observations. All right. Me too, Michael. Let's make some observations over here. What's going on, Brian and everyone? I'm just gonna take the comments off for just a minute so I could focus on what's going on in front of us. Kind of just point this ship in the right direction. So observations. I don't know what the market's pricing in. Maybe some of you do better than I do. I don't know what the market's pricing in over here. This morning, I see the dollar down. I see gold and silver up, Bitcoin up. I see the equity markets all up, So I'm not sure what's going on over here. I'm not sure what the market's trying to price in. I think later today I'll have a seriously strong idea. I'm watching Florida, right? If I see, when we find out which direction Florida's going in, and then I see how the market's reacting, that's one sign for me to watch out for. And there's going to be many other, and there's a lot of people who are actually experts on this. I'm going to be deferring to them to follow what's going on tonight. I'll probably be tweeting out any interesting links that I know of where to follow, so I could get any type of results. I'm interested in not only who wins the presidency. I'm interested to see if it becomes a contested election. I'm interested to see who wins the Senate. These are things that matter, right? I have no idea. I honestly have no idea what the market is pricing in right now, and I like it that way. I mean, I sincerely like it that way because I'm coming from a neutral standpoint. Let's look at what's going on over here, though. Let's look at the S&P 500, and this is just from standing back perspective right now, nothing else. We could see that this little pattern is still maintaining. This is consolidation, right? You could see the higher lows, the lower highs, and the higher lows, right? That gives a really nice guide. That gives a very nice guide for what the next direction could be on a breakout of this. Possibly. What about right now? Are we coming into an area of resistance right over here on this trend line over there this morning? Watch out for that. I know the urge is there to take trades. You feel like if you're early, you could make more money. But what happens is when you get involved in a trade early, it means that you don't have all the edges lined up. And more often than not, you're going to be wrong, not early. You're early to be wrong. It's so much easier finding out what direction the market's picking and then getting involved in that. Yeah, hold on. Let me drop that in for you. Oh. Mic check. Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. So S&P consolidating over here. That's good. By the way, if this continues to consolidate over here, this could be leading up to a massive move. I don't know if it's going to be up or down. We'll find out. Let's check out the Nasdaq, see what's going on this morning with the Nasdaq over here. And similar situation, right? It just interesting that on the S&P and the Nasdaq are last lines of hope. Hope is a beautiful thing. Hope is a powerful thing. If you saw my tweet this morning, I was tweeting a lot about hope. So over here, I also noticed you take the trade early, you're more than likely to get stopped out with a retrace. So over here, you could see the same thing happening. Lower highs, right? Higher lows, consolidation. Interesting, right? Nothing more than observations this morning. What's going on with by the way, the DXY, let's take a look at it. DXY, we're getting rejected here at the 94. But we're coming in for a retest. We have two areas to watch out for over here. We have three things to watch out for, right? First thing that happened, breakout into the 94. The 94 did not hold. This is on the daily time frame we're watching today because we're not looking to trade. Notice we're always on the 8 hour. On the 8 hour, we're looking to place trades. Right now, we're not looking to trade. We're on the daily time frame, making observations. And thanks Heartland Greens. And you can see over here, the 94 was so far rejected. I'm going to change that over in a second to resistance. But we're coming down now into two areas of support. We have horizontal support right here at 93.50. And also we have this broken trend line that goes all the way back down, all the way up here. I think this was in March, right? And you could see over here the end of March. And you could see that is now or should be support. If we trade back below this and close below that trend line, at that point, this was a false breakout. Notice that we don't trade breakouts and breakdowns. We always wait for the retest and the resumption. But I'm not calling this a fake breakout or anything like that. You know, right now it's just breakout, retest, looking for a resumption. This is like just trading technically as it always does right now. So those are the two areas to watch out for. Let's see if price holds here at the horizontal 93.50. If not, look for this area to hold, this trend line coming in right now around 93.15. And a close below that trend line will set back off not only our bearish bias basis. I'm happy to flip back. Look, by the way, this is where on the break of that trend line where I went bullish, right? Not only on the break of the trend line. Let me show you. Let me show you 1 second. It was breakout, retest, resumption right over there. Just call it 93.50 just to be easy. If I have to go back bearish at 93, that's gravy. I'll be happy to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's better than being on the wrong side of a trade for a long time. What's going on with gold? Yeah, a lot of stuff is surprising right now. Yes, Phil S. It seems that the market is pricing in more stimulus as we speak. Screen slightly off, or is that just me? I'm not sure. What do you see in Sprout? So yeah, in some counties they've started counting votes. Pennsylvania. They're not going to give the vote count in Pennsylvania for 3 days. So you're going to start hearing Pennsylvania a lot. All right. So thanks, Shane. Are they pricing in stimulus right now? Is the market pricing in stimulus? Here's the thing. I don't know, right? Because that could change drastically this evening into tomorrow. I simply don't know, right? So anyway, I don't know. Nope. Alan, I don't know. Kaya, I mean, it's a great question. Before I go any further into gold, Kaya, you're asking, am I planning on staying on the 8-hour time frame throughout this election for trading and only taking conquering their market entries? Kaya, I mean, look, there's one, there's a difference here. The difference is that, I'm an expert. I've been trading full time for over 20 years. I have so much experience trading events like this, as well as on smaller time frames. Look, I don't, unless you know what you're doing, you should be on the sidelines right now. Unless you know what you're doing, just wait for that clarity. Look, if you're trading the 8-hour time frame, you're getting clarity, right? You don't need to trade the turn in the market if there's a turn, because what happens is you could get a turn, you could position yourself in, and then it could turn again. And if you don't have that ability to be able to change your mind in an instant when data proves itself otherwise, you're going to get stuck. So you should stick to what you normally do. And just people think that like you're missing opportunity. That's not the case. You're looking for the sweet spot. You're looking to find out clearly the direction the market has taken. And then within that, you're looking for pullbacks into support or resistance and to get the resumption. You're looking for the layup. Yeah, Russell, I mean, aside from holding Bitcoin, boom. No, Max. No. Max, do not join this. Join the course if you want to know how to trade and navigate the markets profitably. Do not join them if you want to make money from these markets. Guaranteed you lose money, Max. Don't do it. Stay away. Stay away. Look, trading is not gambling. Trading is approaching the markets in a methodical manner in order over time to put yourself ahead. There's a huge difference. All right. That's for that. Gold over here coming back towards 1914, right? That's the gold line in the sand over there. Above there, I'll be looking for gold entries. Is the market pricing in stimulus? More importantly, by the way, observations. I see a fake out up here to the top, and then I see another one down here to the bottom. Interesting. So the market is shaky, right? Is 1914 still an area that I'm looking to get long at if we get above it, retest that? Yeah, it's, that's where we're starting to. Is it easy? No. Is anything ever? We have more resistance right above there as well. If you want to play it safe, wait for 1930 to clear. If you want to play it safe, wait for 1930 to clear. People are always looking to get in early. That is not the way to do it. All right, silver, what else is going on? Silver, silver, interesting. Very interesting this morning, coming into the big resistance, the trend line over there. We've been saying now, it seems like for months, but it's been only for weeks, that once silver clears above that trend line, right? It used to be 26. Now it's just above this trend line that opens up along. Precious metals, they're into, by the way, what? They're both into resistance. Everyone sees them bullish this morning. They're trading up this morning. It's going to be a wild day. I'm sure it's going to be full of volatility. That's not just one way, usually. It could go both ways. It could get choppy out there, right? Just wait for that clarity. Is there clarity right around? No. Right now, we're into resistance. Above there, this opens up the top side. Above 26, things are going to start get going over there. But right now, you're into resistance. Right now, the dollar's into support. A lot of people, right now, you're into support, right? Is this the time to be bearish the dollar after breaking out on a bullish technical event and then a pullback into support? Not for me. Market's got to prove itself. The market's got to prove itself. Over here, you could see also we're coming into resistance. Look at all that overhead resistance. It's not over here at 1914, above at 1930. Bitcoin, let's check it out. Bitcoin, by the way, I noticed just the price action on Bitcoin yesterday. Bitcoin started off yesterday morning weak, right? Equity markets were strong. Gold and silver were a little bit bid. And then as the equity markets came off to almost about unchanged, but significantly down over 1%, Bitcoin kept slowly still rising. Bitcoin is decoupling before our eyes, and it's going to continue, obviously, you all know, to get more pronounced really towards the end of the first quarter 2021, really then just to completely decouple, doing its own thing. People didn't believe me months ago when I would say that, when everything was so tightly correlated. Now I think they see it. It's happening. So what's happening today? I don't know. All I see is this. I see, this was what started our last run over here, right? Boom, consolidation into the resistance, consolidating and holding above that last bit of support. It's all bullish, but it's just consolidating over here. So a lot of people are looking for lower prices on Bitcoin. I laid out in the Bitcoin video the different circumstances of what could happen, right? If we get into a big risk off event, could Bitcoin feel pressure? Bitcoin is not a safe haven asset. It will be many years, not until I believe it's, it has about the market cap or close to gold, will it become any type of safe haven asset. Bitcoin is a risk asset. It's not a safe haven asset. If we go into risk off, Bitcoin could feel the pressure, or Bitcoin could just do its own thing. I have no idea. Notice that normally I see things very clearly. And right now I'm just like, I'm on the sidelines. Obviously I'm uber positioned into Bitcoin, but right now on a swing trader's time frame, I just feel like everyone, now that Bitcoin has been rising, wants to buy Bitcoin back at a lower price. But when Bitcoin was back at a lower price, people were still looking for a lower price. And people are always looking for a lower price. But when you have the pullbacks into support, you had the opportunities. We called out this one over here. Then over here, we called out that entry over here. Now we're up here. People are looking for, 12,000 again and or lower. And it could happen, but I'm not, I don't know how probable it is. I had that conversation last night. I just don't know. So, speculations for Americans. Digital money, what's going on? Christian, great comment. Christian saying, look, I feel like I have some bad habits I need to get rid of. Being patient is the hardest part for me at the moment. Christian, it all comes down to whether or not you have a working strategy. Like if you're trying to like kind of find your way and figure it out, you're out there like trying to do stuff. I mean, you're doing it without a real concrete strategy. So you're kind of like just doing random stuff, hoping something sticks and works out. Look, you got the passion, right? You got the desire. You need the discipline. You need to focus in. It's hard having discipline if you don't have a working strategy. It's the truth, and it's really easy to have discipline when you have a working strategy. Making money, I mean, it's two things. I mean, it's kind of fun, but it's also like you're completely detached. Any individual trade really does not even matter. So yeah, I mean, wow. David Hunter sees the DXY at 85. I mean, I mean, I don't know. That's amazing. I wish I could see the future. I can't see the future. You know, I really wish I can. Was David bearish or bullish over here though? That's my question. Was David bearish or bullish over here? I don't know. I can't see the future. I can't predict the future, but I do a really good job of staying on the right side of the market. You know? Oh, Greg, what's going on? Um, yeah, listen, guys, right? Anyway, which program every day, then take the course when you want to develop strategy? Guys, listen, where do we take this today? I just wanted to check in and say hi. You saw yesterday's afternoon video was really short, and that's because, like, listen, this is not a moment for like being setting up. This is a moment here for being on the sidelines, and it's rare for me that I'm this neutral, right? But this is where we are. So the conflicted Canuck. It's good to save money, but you know, yeah. So listen, I'm gonna just talk about this really quick, not about David Hunter, but you've all heard me rant about this before in the past. Whether you're talking about like dollar milkshakes, y'all, or you're talking about Peter Schiff, I'm long gold for 8 years during a bear market. Look, I have zero respect. Jordan, have zero respect for the old macro style of picking a narrative and then sticking to it until you're right. I mean, we're in 2020. Traders gotta be sharp. Being on the wrong side for weeks and or months and or years. I mean, I got no respect for that. I got no respect for that whatsoever. Peter Schiff, excellent. I mean, Peter's smart. I learned a lot from Peter, back in early 2000s, and there's no question about it. But at the same time, when he kept everyone long gold from the height of the bull market throughout the bear, that would be like me being like, at the height of the bull market in Bitcoin, telling you to hold your Bitcoin for an 80-85% drawdown. Yeah, 4 years later, I'll be right. But anyway, I don't like that. Yeah, Jeffrey? No, Jeffrey. See, here's where you're wrong, Jeffrey. Peter, no. Peter held gold from 1900 to 1200. Jeffrey. Peter had everyone hold gold from 1900 to 1200, and then 8 years later go back to 1900. That's stupid. Jeffrey, I don't know how long you've been around in the markets, but I'm sorry, that's not wrong. The internet is this beautiful thing that has a long history and it's every there. But like Jeffrey, no, lose your idols. Thanks for the thumbs down, Jeffrey. Lose your idols. He held gold from 2012 until today long and had everyone long. He's a freaking shill. There you go. So, I know. I don't know. The only reason we're stuck and not moving on is because I don't know where to go from it. David Hunter started this whole thing, and then that's it. Yeah, you are, Jeffrey. You're Jeffrey. You're new. You're greenhorn, Jeffrey. Yeah, you are. So that's fun. That's hysterical. The clock on my chart. Where's the clock on my chart? Anyway, so you could look at the Nasdaq. I don't think anyone should be looking. Look, you guys could see like in a moment, you could go from the Nasdaq being up. Right now, it's up 0.5%. It could be up 3% and then go red in a second, or it could go up here 3 or 4% right now. What you're looking at is nothing, right? You do have some important lines over here. Right now, I'd be looking not to the upside, right? I would be looking to the downside. You could see over here, not that I'm saying you should short the NASDAQ. I'd be worried about my downside over here. This right now looks like very weak price action, right? It looks like very weak price action to me. We would need to see, look, let's just play out one scenario for everyone here today. Let's say that today we had a clear winner. Let's say Vice President Biden wins the election, President Trump concedes, and that the Democrats take over the Senate, and there's a blue wave. Obviously, the Nasdaq and everything else probably initially will skyrocket off of like stimulus hopes, right? That doesn't mean that you need to get into that, because what happens afterwards is we're gonna break an important technical level. We're gonna come back. We're gonna retest, and then you could get in the easy trade. Okay? Because the other thing that could happen, by the way, is like the same scenario I just pointed out could happen, where it appears Vice President Biden is winning the election. And then you could have the Senate turn out to go Republican. And then all of a sudden the market's going to go like this. Boom. As those wait for the sweet spot today. Stay out. That's why I'm not looking at the markets over there. Yeah, this is so important. And I have to say, when I was young and invincible, like I just wanted action. I just wanted action all the time. I used to average between 5 to 7 trades a day easily. JC, hold on one second. Thank you, man. Thanks, JC Travels. Appreciate that. Jordan, could you ever go over gold support and resistance briefly? If you're looking at, we could look at levels right now. If you're looking at levels, gold is probably a popular. Nope, Fraser, I will not be live streaming later today. The next time that we'll be together will be tomorrow morning. The next time we'll be together will be tomorrow morning. All right, so what are some important levels? Important levels on gold. Look, I laid out the important levels for me. I don't think anyone should sell gold, right? Even if we come to a scenario where we have the worst scenario, for stimulus hopes. The worst scenario, I believe, would be a Republican Senate and a Biden win. I don't think anything would get done. I think that would be very bad. And in that case, would gold initially sell off? Maybe. But guess what? Eventually, and I don't know where it is, I don't know when it is, but eventually you will see the Federal Reserve pick up the slack. Like gold is in a bull market, a multi-year bull market, until real growth returns. That could be years away. I put the earliest case scenario a couple of years away, right? What we're seeing is the expansion of balance sheets. We're seeing governments going to debt. That's just getting started. Look what's going on in Europe right now. Yeah, there's a mic glitch. but we got it. There we go. Just trying to tighten that up. Blue Senate and Trump win would be the worst for everything. I don't know. I don't think so. A blue Senate win and a Trump. I think a blue Anthony. Maybe you're right, but also there's the chance that a blue Senate and a Trump win would be huge stimulus. Huge stimulus. Trump is on record and saying that he wants a bigger package than they're both discussing. There's no question Trump likes to spend money, right? So there's no question about it. So, I don't know. A blue Senate and a Trump win could see a big stimulus package. There'll be no one controlling the spending. So, what other metals would I look in this scenario? Let's look at palladium. Let's look at platinum. Let's look at nickel over here. This is, by the way, right now, two things are happening over here on palladium. Right now, technically, you're bouncing off of that support, but you're coming back towards resistance overhead over here. Let's call it right here at 23.24, right? Kind of like on silver, for this to be technically bullish again, for this to look, not technically bullish, it's technically bullish. For this to look like it's really taking off now, it's got to break that trend line over here. Right over there. It's coming into resistance right now. It's not a clear sky whatsoever. By the way, a big play, if Biden wins the presidency, Kip's nickel would be a huge beneficiary. Not only would gold be, but also Kip's nickel. And the reason I say that, because of the huge alternative energy push. They're talking about first doing a $2.3 trillion stimulus package and then a multi-trillion-dollar green energy push on top of that. So this would be a huge beneficiary. You can see right now this is actually giving a buy signal today. I like it only because you get the risk reward is there. You could get out of this trade really quick if it were to roll back over. And the upside there is a lot. Let's just say a lot. What's copper doing today? Copper looks uber bullish over here. Copper looks uber bullish. Everyone could see it, right? And it's been happening over and over again. That big move, consolidation, next leg. Consolidation, next leg. Again, that looks super bullish. Since everything is risky, I put in a bet on the election. I don't, not on a daily basis, but on a weekly basis, we look at copper. We look at all these base metals over here. Base metals, the bottom metals over here that I put them: palladium, platinum, nickel, copper. At least weekly. Euro US dollar. I don't see an edge, but we'll look at it. Huh. Les, the reason I use the 8 hour over the daily time frame is that the daily time frame. I'm just looking at, guys, but before we get into the 8 hour time frame, just do you notice how right now so far that blue trend line has held? Everyone's familiar with it. It goes back to 2008. This 12-year trend line. Look how it held again. Just interesting, right? That's all I could say. Look, there's basically Bitcoin ETFs right now. You have Grayscale, you have in Canada QBTC. You now have MicroStrategy, which is almost like a play on Bitcoin. Do I think a Bitcoin ETF will come to the market? When I do, the premium on Grayscale and everything else is going to fall. That's it. Eventually, right? So the 8 hour over the daily time frame is this is like 2020 and things happen throughout a day. Look, there are three major sessions that take place in a 24-hour period. There's the Asian, there's the European, and the North American. each one of those broken down to 8 hours. That helps divide the day, but you get much more precision. Excuse me, you get much more precision entries using the 8 hour than the daily. It's very hard to trade the daily time frame. There's a huge lag involved. Brian, tacos is. I hope tomorrow is a taco day. Taco Tuesday's put on hold until Wednesday. Rob, right on time. Right on time. Gabriel, just catching up on your comment, buddy, over here. I was right on gold, but wrong on Bitcoin. The later did manage to get through resistance and rally up to 12K, thanks in large part to right on gold's coattails and a massive. If you pull up a chart of gold and Bitcoin, you're about to see a lot of gold investors come into Bitcoin. Gold investors are pretty smart people, Peter Schiff included. Peter is brilliant, but not fair. Peter knows what's up. Peter understands Bitcoin, but you're about to see a major breakdown on the gold Bitcoin chart over here. Let's see if we can pull it up and take a look at it. A lot of gold investors are about to become we're live. Sorry about that. Let me pull back up this chart over here. I want to take a look at it right here. Let me come back to this is a 3-day. It's high enough. Yeah, Anthony, we just disconnected for a second. Oh my goodness. Gold or Bitcoin. We're about to drop out from the bottom over here. We're about to drop out from the bottom over here. We're live now. Sorry about that. Matthew, love the comment over there. So I'm kind of perplexed. I don't know what's going on over here. I'm on a laptop today, not at my desk, but I have like 160 Mbps over here. So I don't know what the lag is on the computer. I'll have to play with that later, try to fix that out. Also the mic keeps going. I think Peter is his son. He keeps asking people for Bitcoin. Nevertheless, look, Bitcoin's about to go wild. We all know that. If you don't know that, I'm sure you're beginning to believe it. Yeah. So Alan, also, it's not just Zero Hedge. Raul Pal is out on Twitter this morning. He feels like everyone is positioned for the reflation trade. And, that could be a lot of people on the wrong side of the trade. Look, whether you agree with people or not, it's a really good idea to just weigh all sides, right? And especially Raul. I love listening to Raul. I want to know what he has to say. He brings a lot to the conversation. I'm always interested in it. However, so look, you could go back to when Clinton was elected. Bill Clinton was running on the fact that if he was elected, we were going to see some stimulus. And then after he was elected, that didn't happen. So who knows what's going to happen? All is, don't trust anyone. No one's going to be there to save you. That's why we're here together. So Ethereum's going to sleep right now. By the way, Ethereum, that's all. Tony's got it. I mean, Peter understands economics. Peter understands money. Not only that, Peter comes from the School of Austrian Economics. Peter understands Bitcoin because he's debated it so often. There's no question he understands it. But, it's a great marketing tool for Peter to be anti-Bitcoin because he gets a ton of play on that. BlockFi is my recommendation for buying Bitcoin. Yeah, I absolutely, for the past 4 months, have used BlockFi all the time. I love it. It's really, really nice. So, Sam, I don't know who Ed Yardini is, but he says government gridlock means stronger bull markets than red or blue waves. What do you think? I don't know. I don't know. It's the accent, right? It's the Spanish, English, now Cayman accent. PayPal, look, PayPal is now going to see their revenues increase greatly because they are letting people buy and sell Bitcoin, or at least a proxy on Bitcoin. No question about it. You're seeing Square come under a little bit of pressure. Could it be because Bitcoin is now getting into that? I don't know. Stocks are risky until we break those trend lines above. Jordan, so Bitcoin is being used by government soon to deflate their balance sheet, or you reckon they keep continuing their way? So, I mean, you could talk about the U.S. government and separate that from other governments because the U.S., not only the U.S. government, the Federal Reserve is going to try to keep this current situation going for as long as possible because that's what they have the most to gain from. Now, obviously, you're seeing other governments such as Iran, or they're the first central bank to start legally accepting Bitcoin all the time. And and I would have the greatest respect for Peter in the world had when it became clear gold entered into a bear market, he got everyone positioned into equities. And then, at the time it was time to accumulate gold back in 2018, get everyone positioned back into gold. Then he would be my hero. I don't know, Alan. Either does Raul, which is what. Look, it's a great question. Raul has saying that we are entered into the insolvency stage, but is it real? Look, it's a very difficult question with interest rates at or near zero over here. These zombie corporations could just be held on life support for a really long time. We're not seeing any type of signs of risk in the credit markets, but these things could start to domino really quickly, really quickly. So Raul is right for watching his back. But I mean, at the same time, throughout the whole, from April all the way basically through September, Raul was also looking for like things to fall apart in a retest. He really didn't get bullish, right? And you got to just like that's because he's a macro guy and he's a great thinker and he knows and understands a lot. He really knows. He really understands when you like picture you're like in the matrix and you're looking at the whole big global macro environment. He is able to put it together really well. Timing it all is the hardest part, right? So in all fairness, it's a different game. And again, Raul is positioning himself from a larger time frame. It's all about time frame. That's not what I do, right? I'm just following price on charts. It's a little bit different, right? I could go, one day from bullish on the dollar to bearish in the dollar and change my opinion really quickly if I get any type of technical break. It's just completely different. Do you think Bitcoin can be used as a currency? Why it's so volatile? Um, Look, I mean, the U.S. dollar is a really good currency. Uh, it has about 70% of use in the monetary system. Like aside from that, you have the euro. You have also like the pound is a pretty good altcoin, as well as the Japanese yen. And Bitcoin's not competing versus those things at all, right? Bitcoin is not yet even competing versus gold. Bitcoin has a $250 billion market cap. It's like this like little tiny drop in an enormous pond. However, Bitcoin is growing and will continue to grow. Look, 5 years from now, 4 to 5 years from now, Bitcoin should be, in my opinion, challenging the market cap of gold unless there's a major event that reprices gold appropriately so. And if gold is trading at, right now, obviously gold is manipulated. If gold was trading at $5,000 to $10,000, then, then obviously Bitcoin would not be challenging the market cap of gold. But if all things remain, similar, Bitcoin could first be challenging the market cap of gold, and then maybe take a bigger slice of the overall monetary supply. But it never will be replacing the central bank digital currencies that are coming. Never say never. Who knows what happens 20 years from now? I don't know. But Bitcoin is volatile because it's going from an asset of 0 in 12 years to an asset of 250 billion and about to enter, I would dare say, in the next year, in the next 9 months, $1 trillion asset. BlockFi is not for trading. You can position in and out of different currencies. John, do you expect Bitcoin during these bull markets here to have volatile moves to not only the upside but downside? Expect at least a 30% drawdown multiple times during the bull market phase. That's the right attitude. And then when it's time to position out, I mean, Bitcoin could fall 80, 85% easy in the bear market. Look, I enjoyed listening to Raul. I hadn't listened to him actually for a while, for a couple of months. I heard him talking about, I was listening to this video put out by BlockFi where Raul was being interviewed, and just on Sunday. And man, I enjoy listening to him. I'm not reading into anything today. I don't know. I like that. That's my whole attitude today. I don't know. Yeah. So Richard, I mean, really, really interesting. By the way, I've seen the property values in Vail, Colorado. Absolutely, they seem like they've tripled over the last 2 years. Um, but right now, when is it? Is it in as soon as January when all of the rent forbearance comes due and people not only have to begin paying their rent again, but also back pay for the months they missed? How is that even possible? It's not only rents, it's also mortgage forbearance. But Richard, everyone else, what happens if we get some type of blue wave today? And then what happens if we get some type of massive stimulus? Now, I believe most of that money is going to failing cities, $1 trillion of it at least. I don't know how much would be going to landlords and renters, but the housing market could fall apart, huh? Oh, by the way, Sean, I'm glad you brought that up. Wow, I didn't even realize it was up. So the Australian Central Bank made I saw a tweet saying that, well, they feel like they could just continue printing Aussie dollars just like the US continues printing dollars. Let's look at the chart here. This is interesting. This actually is interesting right here, right now, for a couple of reasons, right? First of all, what do I see? I see we're back into this consolidation area and or towards the resistance, right? This kind of like, we could be going to a big risk off event tonight and the Australian dollar, Japanese yen all of a sudden became a lot more attractive. So people are wondering what I will be trading, right? And it's not only would I be trading, either the Nas 100 or the S&P, and or gold, but also the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. Those are two pairs that I'm really drawn to in these type of situations over here. And now that we've bounced off of this support massively back in towards this resistance over here, this now becomes back in play a lot more attractively, right? Because, well, anyway. Jim Rogers, Bitcoin contrarian. I mean, Jim Rogers, I like the guy so much. And for a long time, I've really enjoyed his thoughts. But I have to say, man, I mean, if anyone's on the wrong side of a trade longer than Peter, it's Jim, right? Man, he's been bullish the whole time on commodities. as they've gotten absolutely obliterated in a deflationary type environment. But when someone says Bitcoin's going to zero, like Jim, I mean, at that point, they've kind of make themselves irrelevant. Mike, I apologize, but it doesn't help me. You see, I can't read and sound out words. So when you're like if you were speaking to me and I could hear your phonics and pronunciation, I can then mimic it and pronunciate it. But I can't sound out words. I have a learning disability. I had to learn by memorization. So I wish I could hear you leave me a voice note. There you go. Kips, that's exactly what I just said. uh yeah. So my one criticism of Raul, I wish that he would give credit where credit's due, and that's all. He put out a beautiful paper to his premium Real Vision subscribers and making the case for Bitcoin. He basically summarized everything that Bitcoiners have put together over a 12-year period using the same memes and not really crediting anyone, So anyway, as well as he uses often, you'll see right now, he's using Luke Groman's catchphrase of being able to see the forest through the trees. Anyway, always give credit, man. Build people up, rightfully so. Yeah, a lot of Bitcoiners, a lot of like Bitcoiners, they like buying Bitcoin through Square Cash App, through the Cash App. Yeah, you could withdraw from there as well. You could send Bitcoin anywhere you want. eToro, a lot of people in Europe maybe could use eToro, eToro, by the way, do you know eToro is bigger than Robinhood? Maybe. I think one day Bitcoin will be used as a peer to peer, you know, for sure. Yeah. I guess that's because of the Quantum Fund, George Soros's partner. So this is a great question, General Zod. So this is a great question. Not only is it a great question, it's one that I don't have the answer to, and it's what I perceive to be probably the greatest risk to Bitcoin. So and to keep it short, I mean, Bitcoin is a decentralized currency that does not compete with central bank digital currencies in any way, shape, or form because those are centralized. Not only that, though, obviously Bitcoin has limited supply, and those are basically digital fiat. Not only could the supply be increased at any time, they could also cut anyone off from the system at any time. You can't do that with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is permissionless. You don't need anyone's permission to use it. Now, the important piece of the question is, are governments going to allow it? Governments already know they can't ban Bitcoin. Governments, especially using digital currencies, could cut off on-ramps and off-ramps, as well as they could just even try to make them illegal. If the USA were to make BlockFi and Coinbase and Gemini illegal, right, other countries throughout the world would welcome that and draw that innovation into their borders and into their jurisdictions. So you can't really stop Bitcoin that way. But Bitcoin is not big enough right now because you're an early adopter if you're using Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is not big enough to be peer-to-peer where it could survive as a peer-to-peer network. So governments, if they were to make it completely illegal and to shut off all on and off ramps, Bitcoin is not big enough right now to survive on its own like that. However, if you're talking about the tyranny that would result in this, in this type of in this situation of these digital currencies, and at that point, Bitcoin would be like the tool of the resistance, and there will always be a resistance, And Bitcoin is, at the end of the day, is hope for humanity. So I bet on Bitcoin. But look, it's going to be what 2023, 2024 before the Fed is ready for Fed coin. You know, by that time, Bitcoin is a multi-trillion-dollar asset. By that time, the amount of senators and congressmen holding Bitcoin is that enough where all of a sudden it's I don't know, it's going to be a fight. This is a fight of good versus evil. I'll tell you that much. This is a fight of good versus evil. Is Bitcoin a 30%, at least a 30% Bitcoin drop is always possible. It's always possible. Now, a couple of things you could do here, right? Jordan, you know what happens to countries and leaders that go against major players? Yep. That's for sure. But listen, I know what happens in the end, right? Revelations. I know what happens in the end. Look, we win. We win in the end. The time of great peace is almost among us. And it's always darkest, right? The darkest times before the light arrives. You know, like I think of Gandalf in the battle. I don't know the name of the battle in the Lord of the Rings when they're losing, and then all of a sudden Gandalf comes running down the hill. So look, you could always, the safest entry in my view on Bitcoin, the safest, not the best. The safest entry. I don't know what Baba is. We'll go to it in a second, though. You shall not pass, Sean. Bo Pony. Yeah, Jeffrey, I don't know what Bo Pony is. It sounds like some pornographic thing or something like that. I don't know. Bo Pony. That's not in my realm of anything like that. No. Good versus evil. Yeah, that's where we're at. The safest entry into Bitcoin is always in the bull market is 30% from the last high. If you go ahead and you have a resting order in that you adjust either weekly and or daily, 30% down from that high, that's the safest because it could go lower, right? In the last bull market, we went as high as 40%, 39%. That's a pretty good entry from a risk to reward standpoint. Like entering 30% down, you have to feel good about your entry and you're not going to see too much more of a drawdown. Is that the best entry? When I say that, that means right now, if you were to enter at 14,000, 13,770, would the first 30% pullback be lower or higher from where price is right now? I have no idea. It could literally go either way, right? So I have no idea. Battle of Helm's Deep. What is BABA? By the way, Alibaba, I thought so. By the way, if we go, tomorrow we'll be back to our normal flow in following what's going on, looking for opportunity. There's a reason that not only yesterday's afternoon update, yesterday's live stream, and today's are different. It's because I'm neutral and I'm trying my best to keep you all neutral right now. Is this a buying opportunity? I have no idea. I have no idea. That doesn't, it's a little bit of a correction. Amen, Mario. When I say safest entry, I mean the entry that will give you the potential least amount of drawdown from entry. Because if you enter at market right now, you're expecting at least a 30% drawdown. There you go. That sounds like a bot. Yeah, I saw that headline this morning. The Shanghai exchange had suspended the anti-IPO. Really weird. Who knows what's happening over there? I don't know. I don't know who invented Bitcoin. Probably an AI from the future. I have no idea who invented Bitcoin. I do. In my opinion, you have seen attacks come from intelligence agencies against Bitcoin, right? And and those come in the form of trying for larger block sizes. Yes, a 30% drop is possible. Ooh, the Battle of Hornburg. Big Able, look at AMD right now. Do it? No, Jeff. So look, just really quick. It's entirely possible that Bitcoin trades to 10,000 again. If you take 30% right now, right? Where does that take us? 30% drawdown right now. Ooh, interesting. It would just have us almost closing the CME gap right now, right? It could take a 30% drawdown, which is always possible, right? Now that looks like that trend line would hold. I don't think this is possible anymore, the 8,800. But I do believe if they push it this far, that they would be able to close the CME gap. Is it possible? Yep. Once we break this next, by the way, just simple, break out of the bull market, retest, finally the resumption, right? If we break above 14 over here, at that point, I don't think it's possible anymore. I don't think we'll ever see it again. I don't think we'll ever see 12,000 again if we're able to break above there. Let's check out AMD. Oh yeah, I can't wait till my kids are older. I can watch it with them. This looks pretty good. I mean, so a couple of things I say when I first look at this chart. First of all, it seems to me really to be tracking the indexes, right? The next thing I notice is that, well, I see the lower high. Hold on, let me bring out my chalkboard over here. Right? I see the just like the indices. So I saw something on natural gas. We were looking at that last week coming into resistance. But I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm catching up. Just a couple of comments here before I get into the AMD. Then we'll look at the Euro Australian dollar next for sure. So anyway, this election day, thanks for being here with me, everyone. I'm trying to keep it light and not talk about politics over there. People are stressed out right now, right? So this looks pretty good over here in the fact that we're seeing what looks like over here, possibly, right? Could you see this possibly developing? Either some type of descending wedge or, right? That would not look as good. So either way, looking at advanced micro devices. So weird thing with all the chip makers, by the way, and that weird thing is that you've had uh, Huawei having over the past year to buy massive and massive and massive and massive amount of chips as they're cut off from the system by the U.S. Well in advance in order for them to be able to go ahead and be sufficient enough to be able to go ahead and start producing their own chips, or what they're going to do is actually just take Taiwan so that they have their like, we're in a war. And it's not the Chinese versus the US, and it's not, it's who knows what it is. It's so ridiculously complicated But I mean, obviously, in my opinion, the biggest thing is this conspiracy we have against us about these, Davos bunch, these elites who really want to, through technology, impose their own will and belief on us. Um, all that aside, that's what's going on here. We've seen chips makers flying. I personally, Jordan, think a lot of that had to do with Huawei getting, or not even Huawei, the Chinese government buying as many as they possibly can. I would be more focused on the equity markets, though. And when I say I see the same pattern that's happening on the equity markets happening here to a degree. And if you look at the Nasdaq over here, it's almost the same exact pattern, right? So watch what's happening over here, right? Is it, for me, the safest entry is going to be once on the S&P, once on the Nasdaq, that trend line is broken to the upside. At this point, that's when I'm going to say equities are no longer risky, and it's a good time to position into equities. Now, I have no idea when that happens, and that could change. If this doesn't happen within the next few months, well, maybe we do come back down and revisit the March lows. Does maybe insolvency becomes a thing? Right now, it's not, but maybe it is a few months from now, and then I'll be looking to position it much lower and being like, now there's a good risk to reward level on equities. Right now, though, where we are today, right from where we are today, it's an ever evolving, changing puzzle. From where we are today, though, it's a break above that trend line over there. You saw the same thing happening on AMD. That's why I bring that up. Yeah, I imagine the Turkish lira, man. I remember months ago watching what was happening. I just can't trade an exotic like that. And the swamp against you is absolutely ridiculous. Also, did Adam did Adam Black did Adam Back invent Bitcoin? I don't know. No, I don't. JC, no. Are are Trezor JC? Let me know. Are Trezor transaction times different than any other? Look, you could always raise the transaction fee a little bit over the recommended fee if you want your transaction to go through a little quicker. Fedcoin is coming. Yes. More than Fedcoin, mark my words, because listen, I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong, but back in 2018, I was telling everyone about this central bank digital currencies coming. I was reading all the papers put out and the research put out by the IMF. Like they announced our plan, they announced their plans to us well in advance. You just got to be able to read through the lines over here. In my opinion, the Federal Reserve of the United States of America, is it even the Federal Reserve of the United States of America, right? Foreign ownership. The Fed is going to be the one sacrificed in upcoming crisis. It's the Federal Reserve and by proxy America that's going to be sacrificed, and that's when the IMF is going to come in and be like, "Listen, we can save you. We can save the system. Everyone must adopt the central bank digital currencies." I have no prediction about. Well, I'm I know I'm not saying who I believe is going to win the election only because emotions are high. The ruble has been getting wrecked. Raoul Pal had some thoughts recently about the Russian ruble. I don't. But let me look over here at, someone wanted to look at the euro Australian dollar. So let's look at that first, and then we could look at the euro ruble. I can't imagine betting against Russia, though. I'll tell you that much. So, euro Australian dollar, this changed drastically. You're seeing So this is really weird. You're seeing that weak Australian dollar today, right? And then you're seeing the euro, the stronger than the euro. I don't know what to make of any of this. Over here, breaking outside of the range up here, I thought it was appropriate to try to go for long after that 3 month consolidation period. We're back into an area of support over here within the range, but I think this is I don't have any read on this whatsoever. Right now, it's back to neutral for me. TX Deer Hunter, the CME gap, right? That's Bitcoin futures trading on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And they don't trade on the weekend. See, Bitcoin trades 24 hours a day, right? By the way, have y'all seen? I forget how, it's not too long from now. I don't know if it's a couple of years, but soon Bitcoin will have been trading longer than the S&P 500. The S&P 500 trades 5 days a week, right? Bitcoin's trading 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So over the weekend, those traders, when price wasn't trading on the exchange, if price opened up higher, it gapped up. So those traders were not able to close their positions during that time frame. It's a gap in the market. So, I wish, is that a massive cup and handle? I wish I knew what was going on, and I don't. But I mean, man, the contrarian in me definitely, there used to be a nice swamp at least paid for the Russian ruble. The euro is negative. I don't know what's going on over here. That's why, especially when it comes to exotics, you got to be an expert. Otherwise, you can't fool with it. So I mean, always you guys see me on the 8 hour. Today you saw me looking at the daily because I'm not looking to take any positions, and now I'm on the 3 day to get a larger overview. If you're like, why the 3 day? Because everyone focuses on the weekly or whatever they do. I run from the herd. Whatever everyone else is doing, I don't want to be doing anything like them. Look at my trading. I don't want to, whatever everyone else is doing, I want to run away. If I see a bunch of people form a line, I just immediately go elsewhere. I want to be looking at the market from a unique perspective, not from what everyone else is doing. I guess that's a reason why most people are not profitable. John, thanks for that. I appreciate that kindness, that generosity. That's awesome. And again, it's the only exchange I've used for at least the last 4 months, and I love it. Are we seeing a comment? I don't know. I mean, so I don't know what's going to happen during alt season. I imagine that XRP is going to trade at much higher prices than it is now, But if you're invested in XRP over Bitcoin, I think that you're missing the point over here. It's highly speculative. Worse than that, the speculative use case of cross-border settlements has now been overtaken by central banks across the world. There's worse is that the company's Ripple, their token is XRP. The company Ripple uses the token XRP to fund their company. They own billions of these tokens that they control the float with. They rip it up, attracting retail investors, and then they dump it to them. That's my opinion. I mean, you used to hear stuff like this years ago. Douglas, you honestly is the first person I've heard saying in years that Bitcoin is a scam, is a joke. I mean, if you don't understand by now the US dollar is the scam, then you got more research to do. But I mean, Bitcoin is now adopted by it's adopted by countries and central banks. It's adopted by Paul Tudor Jones funds, public companies, and also retirement pensions. A bunch of them, including the California Teachers Pension, holding MicroStrategy. So I mean, I I thought like we've anyway. I didn't know that was still a thing. I'm not doing anything right now. Until tonight, I am on the sidelines. Oh, um, again, I did buy some Ethereum and I did buy some Chainlink, and they're highly speculative. Again, I think Bitcoin is the investment. By the way, if you're looking at Chainlink though, I've said going back for a long time now, it's not until we break $12.90 that I think that we really start making the move up. So, you know, you're coming into a big risk event, and Bitcoin is not a safe haven, and altcoins are uber, risk on instruments here. There's the possibility we could see a bloodbath. So I don't think it's a good time to buy Chainlink today. Yeah, I mean, Jeff, to your point, look, if you, I think a 3% allocation to Bitcoin basically protects you no matter what happens here. And most people are so over positioned into equities that it's risky and dangerous, including not only any of their speculative money but also their retirement money. To not have a small allocation to Bitcoin and or precious metals is risky. Machine shop. So I guess this is where a lot of traders go wrong. The way that you trade is you're trading a certain risk per trade, right? So it's not, you don't trade the same amount of lots or units or whatever you're trading. It depends on, what that particular trade, how it's set up, where your stop loss is from your entry, and that's how you determine what your position size is. If you're trading the same size all the time, then you need to fix that. You're doing it wrong. It's not a it's not a problem that you're doing it wrong. It's just that you were never taught correctly. But what you're doing is, for each trade, you're risking the same amount of your account. There you go. Truth. On Saturday, a phenomenal video on Bitcoin, in my opinion, phenomenal, was added to the playlist. I talk about in the beginning of that video about whether or not it's a good time to buy Bitcoin and why. I definitely recommend that. I don't have any thoughts on oil. I haven't for a while. I think that there's so many more attractive things right now. I think that if we came down to 31 or 28.50, that might be low enough where I thought oil became attractive. But you know, I don't I don't think I don't think oil's, from a trader standpoint, I don't think that oil is an instrument I want to focus on right now. And it's been that way for a long time, with the exception of two trades we called out. Let me catch up to real time and see what you guys are all doing. Oh, Bitcoin is completely trackable. It's a public ledger. Shane, I think there is a Fed coin coming. It's just the Fed coin is simply a digital dollar. There's no way to compete in today's environment without having a digital currency. The whole reason they want a digital currency, by the way, is so that they could bypass the banks, right? What do I mean by that? Well, you saw that stimulus checks just went out to people directly with the digital dollar. They could just they could say, okay, we want to target this particular sector or these particular people or this industry. They could have variable interest rates, negative interest rates. They could also make money disappear, like no savings. We want you to stimulate the economy. Here's $1,200. You have 3 months, 90 days to spend it, or it'll disappear. There's no question digital currency is coming, because when people say that the Fed has no more tools in their toolbox, interest rates are not now at zero, there's nothing else the Fed could do. Oh yeah, they can. They could go digital, and then they could have way more control. Well, we have the election coming up. Yeah, 100% traceable, and right, and it never goes away. It's a public ledger. Um, Listen, it's the election tonight. Everyone at this point really understands what's going on, right? What do I mean by what's going on? Well, everyone's emotions are really high over here. I don't know what the market's pricing in at this moment. We're not going to know till tonight. How do you know what the market's pricing in? When we're getting any indications of what is a consensus winner. Now, it's a weird time we live in, right? If for example, President Trump was winning by a landslide and posted that on Twitter, well, Twitter would not allow him to post that. Same thing. I don't know if the same thing would be happening for Biden, but supposedly no one's allowed to claim that they won the election tonight. Uh, we're gonna find out who the experts are. I'll be tweeting what I'm following, what information I'm following. I'm just gonna find out what I believe to be the best. And we're going to follow what's going on in the Senate closely. I'm going to follow what's going on for the presidency over here. And then obviously we're going to be focused on key states to give us some type of indication of what is happening. And we're going to watch how the market reacts. It's always better. It's always smarter to not have an idea of how the market should react if a certain outcome happens, but rather wait to see what outcome is happening and wait to see how the market is reacting. That is your tell. Twitter is not liable, actually, but they may be one day. So the other piece that I really want to leave you with is that, listen, it's we the people for a reason. We're all in this together. They are able to control us by dividing us. So all of us, every single one of us, have our own opinions, right? And we all have our reasons, and we all believe them to be good reasons. But at the end of the day, the other person that you're looking at, wherever you are, is not the enemy. They're on your side. They resemble you more so than we may know, right? So be the guy that de-escalates. Don't be the guy that like gets a reaction out of other people. Really just go out of your way today to be human, right? To be kind is really important more than ever right now. The only way that we win, it doesn't matter. The only way that we win is if we come together. I really believe that with all my heart. So I'm staying away from the markets because in a blink of an eye, this could change one way or the other. This line up here, if we break above it, I think that would set off a really big bullish leg, right? I said over here, there's no way I would buy into this. It was way too risky. And I also said there's no way I would sell. I mean, and there's no way I will do anything until things become clear. Is that just to the upside? If we have serious problems, what are serious problems? If we have a contested election that it looks like there's going to be no resolution anytime soon, at a minimum for days, right? Or more likely for weeks. If we're seeing rioting in the streets, that's risk off. Japanese yen, that's, sell equities. There'll be opportunity. Um, so there we are. That's right. I mean, C. Brown, I'm just going to highlight this. Once the reaction is in play, there is plenty of time to trade it. This is the truth right here. Super tennis maniac. Man, I would love to hit some balls. Could Bitcoin's demand in the future cause the value to increase at rates not conducive for regular countries' use, causing deflation in countries if Bitcoin becomes the main currency worldwide? I would say the odds of Bitcoin becoming the world reserve currency worldwide is like something very small. If I was very like optimistic, I would say 5%. It's probably closer to 3%. I mean, hey, you probably want to own some in case that happens, but that's not something for us to really gameplay right now. It's not. It's not. We're not close to anything like that. If you get a clear indicate, yeah, Sean. I mean, would I? Will I? Yes. I could go back 4 years ago to the day 2016. It was an amazing day, amazing trading day. Yes, I would absolutely, absolutely, and I also understand very very clearly that like things could appear to be going one way. Information is key, right? It's hard for us to get information as quick as the next guy. Things That's why you have to rely on price. And price is the leading indicator. Things could change really quickly, right? So be glued to your screen if you are trading. Tennis, beautiful game. I mean, markets have been manipulated and controlled since the dawn of markets. I mean, every player in the market is trying their best to manipulate them for their benefit, but that's fine. Just play within the game. Thanks, Shane. Listen, it was a weird one for me, for sure. Kenneth, 100%. Now, Kenneth, that's up to you or not. I think, and with good reason, and there's a lot of people who it's worked for, that the thing that you should be doing is learning to trade. I'm giving you the right here, like a working strategy, completely detailed, that if you follow, you can profit from the markets. And I'm telling you, it's easier to do that trading FX currencies because they trade better. It's easier to trade them. Now, after you're put up at least 3 months of profit, do I think at that point you've learned how price works off support and resistance with the help of trend lines? You understand perfect risk and money management, and that you could then move into equities 100%. All right, Timothy, I'm not sure. There was a little bit of roughness I didn't like, but it is what it is. I have to follow the flow of the market. Today I'm trying, guys. There's always a method to my madness. These last 24, 36 hours, I've been trying to get everyone not trading, to get everyone on the sidelines where they're safe and where they have the best vantage point when something is clear and a trend is going to be starting to be in place. We could then start trading around it. So just trying here to control everyone over there. And yeah, no. General Zod, Brad, who built the website, came into the course with zero experience. I think that if you have zero experience, it's absolutely the best place to start. Also, people 15 years and more experience. A lot of people having, struggling all that time, joining the course, changing things for them. And then you have people who already are profitable, just working with our live streams. Someone sent yesterday, they spent 15,000 Australian dollars on a course. They didn't finish it. They've just been following our live streams, and it's served them better. Look, there are people who are already profitable, join the course, and either as simply as a way to give back and learn something in the future. It's just I could not imagine. I wish that resource was around for me myself when I first got into the markets. So this is the comment of that expresses my sentiments completely. Listen, everybody, have a wonderful day and be safe. For real. I'm not going to have an updated video this afternoon, only because, again, I don't think anyone should be trading. Nothing was changing between now and the close of New York today. However, tomorrow we're going to get back into it with full force. Tomorrow, everything's up for grabs. If you're trading tonight, be very careful out there. Trade a lot smaller than normal if you need to. Don't get caught up in a position of hope. Always have your risk going into the trade. Base your position size off of that. Listen, some people may think the markets are going to be moving quick. They want to get off the 8-hour. Listen, the 8-hour is all you need anyway. So play it safe. Play it safe. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate that. Dennis, everybody. That's right. Jesse, Joe Rogan's going to be live streaming tonight for some fun and entertainment. I'll definitely be checking that out. Dream big, dream big, dream big. Same to you, Eric, and everybody. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Try to keep it positive. And tomorrow, we're going to be all set to continue to conquer these markets over here together. Tomorrow, it's game on.